Right, so I've just done the two at the minute. Yep. Still kept the tips out of the water so I can still see them. I put them a bit lower down, like, but the tips are still out of the water. And all I've done, as you can see, there's someone over near the willow, but it's going to be going sometime today anyway. There is people trying to get on here. The peg to, well, the peg that way is flooded, or all the pegs that way are flooded, basically, to be fair. So no one's going to want them. There is actually someone what's wanting to set up, booked on a couple of pegs that way. And the wind, well, couldn't really follow the wind on this one because it's going to be a changing direction wind all the way through. Yeah, northeasterly, north, and then whatever way it were, I can't remember now without looking. So the wind's going to be all over. But the wind is actually, if anything, turned. It was actually going that way, and now it's going that way. Well, it's a booked peg, isn't it? You can't really do anything with a booked peg. There's been a few showing and activity and stuff right in front of me as I rocked up. I probably spooked them off a little bit, obviously, with just walking about and obviously partly setting up and stuff. But they are still about. I can see one there in between me and the other guy. So smack bang middle. And all I've done, I've got one on the glugged up boiler, on the hydro syrup. And then I've got a tiger nut on. So tiger nut on the left, just literally underarm down here basically. Yeah, it's not far out whatsoever. And then the other one is literally to the middle of them reeds, so about a foot off of that. And they've been all over. So we'll see. Tight lines to the back lead. Well, it's a flying back lead. So it's all gone tight and then just literally loosened it off a little bit, so I know that that back lead's down. And I believe that in the silver van is rolling. Yeah, rolling. So he'll be around here looking at all the leads. Oh, my first brew. Whew. I need to alter my bed because, as you can see, look, I've got my head on the back of the bivvy, so what I normally do, I've actually just pushed it in as far as it'll go, just give me that bit more room about. Not that I need it, like, but that's what I've done. And I apologise for the noise behind me, that's all the quarry in there. But normally I have it slightly angled a little bit, so my feet are actually poking towards the corner of the front. I put the overwrap on it as well. Not that I need it, but it's going to be dropping down at night, and to be fair, it makes no bloody odds anyway, because I keep the door wide open anyway, so I can straight out. The only time the door comes down is when I need to drop the kids off, so that's the only time that comes out. Whoa, one right in front of me, literally 2 rod lengths out. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. That's all we can do. Right, as I said from the intro, what I did the other night, this is more for normality. Yep, that's what it's all about. It's more normality. Get me out and about, enjoy it, and stuff like that. If anything comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it done. But fish is bonus. Yeah, I'm just glad to be out. I've not really made any effort up to now. I've just literally one over there, one down here. Pretty tight. So the last meter is pin flat, so that is a crucial point. And yeah, but bear in mind there's no lead core in here, so I can use lead core, but what I do, I actually take the lead out anyway, so that's the way I do it. I don't see the point of lead core. Yeah, not that it doesn't work, but my opinion with it, if you're a bowstring tight line and you've got lead core, it's going to be suspended through the water column anyway, so unless you're on a slack line or a flying back lead or something like that, it's going to be going through the water column, so it's making it worse for you. Now the reason why there's no lead core on it is because obviously it's a leader, and they don't like you to have leaders on it, so you definitely can't use the safe zone leaders. I confirmed it with what I do and take the lead out, and now it's fine because it's nice and supple. It can obviously move about and stuff. When it's got the lead in it, it's a little bit different. And the lead free ones, believe it or not, are actually worse. Yeah, so if they have actually got the strand going through it, which is more like a solder, well, it's even less supple than what lead core is. So just be careful on those lead-free ones, guys. If it hasn't got nothing in it whatsoever, then you're all right. Where if it has got something going through it, then they are very, very rigid. Now, I've used a few. I'm currently on the Corda one at the moment, and I quite like that because it is very supple and it's very, very fast and easy to splice. What I was using before it was Dragon Carp, but you can't get no more. But that was lead free, and with that one, it was, like I say, it was like a solder, and it was just too stiff. Yeah, you could literally poke it up. It's a bit like a measuring tape, if you know what I mean. You can literally keep on going and going and going with it until it will eventually bend over, where lead core, it will just go straight over anyway. So yeah, just be wary on them. And the reason why that is obviously if it does go into a snag, it can just literally tie around, because it's not supple. It's just trapped there, isn't it? And it can't get away. All leads there, same as standard, must be able to come off. Now what I've done, I've got heli on one, Corda heli safe, and I've got tubing on that. Now what I've done, and I will show you, I've actually altered it. So the tubing kits what come with them, I was using them in France, and they just bend over and they just break, so they're no good, and your tubing still comes up. Even though it's got a little trapper inside, your tubing still flies up. So I got a little hack for that for you, so I'll show you that one in a little while. So I'll show you as I'm setting up my third rod. But my third rod, I'm wanting to go on the inline drop off, but I just thought I'd keep it a little bit stealthy at the minute, 2 rods, see what happens, and then obviously I can set that one up later on tonight. Anyway, you're gonna get a film from this, so you're gonna see probably an hour plus. It's quite a bit of time here. There'll be a little bit of silliness in there, as normal. All depends on obviously who's around me, and I'm not going to be messing about obviously if there's other people around me, because it's not fair on those guys. But there will be a bit of silliness, yeah, like there normally is. And if you're wondering what this is, well, it's the temperature's dropped already, and everyone's in coats or whatever. So it's just a bit of extra comfort. I don't care what bloody colour it is, you know what I mean? It makes no bloody difference. Yeah, it's like all this DPM stuff. Don't get me wrong, it is sexy as hell, but it don't make any difference. Yeah, the only thing what makes any difference is that last meter. Anything from that doesn't matter. It's like all this camo line and that. If you're naked, yeah, fair enough. If you don't use tubing that, but it's got to be tubing in it, or the leader without the lead core in it, and then you're all right. Micro barb now, you can use micro barbs or whispers. If you don't know what a whisper barb is, well, it's basically like your Palatrax hooks. It's not so much of a barb, it's more of like lines actually on the hook. I'm not a fan of them because they go in and still slip out, same as the barbless do anyway. And a few more fish spinning around in front of me, not quite middle of lake, more towards me. Yeah, but the water, obviously with these last few days, has been like 21 plus in Celsius, so the water's going to be still warm compared to the air pressure. So it is going to take more than likely a day, maybe 2 days, for the water to chill off, to knock the fish actually back down again. But through the night, we're actually going to be down to like 2 Celsius. So, and a northerly wind, that should push them down. But we'll see. Like I say, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I've still enjoyed myself. So stay tuned. You might see something, you might not. From a company called TP Attractors, yeah. And I actually asked him to make me, and he don't want to do anymore because it was a bit of an hassle for him. Because normally what he does is these little round balls, yeah. It's like a little boilie sort of thing. Well, I asked him to actually make me some fake corns. Right, what are they? Right, well, I'll probably give it away with the sunlight. They glow in the dark. Now these are meant to be stupidly bright, but we'll find out. Obviously, I'll stick them into a bit of light, and see what we can actually get charged off of them. So I've got a few different ones. I've got 2 corns, pinks and whites. I've got some box standard yellow balls. I've got some mixed white and yellow balls, and then obviously white balls, roughly between 8 and 10 mil in there. So we're going to get them charged up, and all I'm going to do, I'm going to use them as a tipper. Yeah, just for, because obviously fluoro and all that sort of thing, well, at night it don't work, does it? Because fluoro is just the same as any other colour, it's dark. So that's what these are going on for. See if they work. If they do, they do. I know there's been a few glow in the dark things out in the past and that, but these ones, when I say these are meant to be glow in the dark, these are literally like a light in the water. From his ad. So we'll find out. So yeah, TP attractors. There you go. It's on Facebook and that lot. I think his name was Jack or Jake. Just give him a message and he'll see you right. They're not expensive. I think it was like £1 or £2 a packet. So far from expensive. But I need to find somewhere to stick them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and whack them onto my cradle. Hopefully the wind don't blow them away. And then that way it will just give them a touch of light, won't it? Oh, I sprawled out on the bed. Right, I'm going to give an edge away. Yeah, on one of my edges. Okay. And most people ignore it. Right, so single tubes, alarms, receiver, whatever your system, investigate every time. So don't be a lazy arse and stay on your bed or sat in your chair or whatever. No matter whatever the weather, sunshine, hailing, snow, rain, whatever, as soon as you get a single beep, go down to your rods and watch your rod tip. Obviously whichever one it were what's done it. It could have been one of your other lines. So say you got a line right over there, it might have just give it a sudden pull, but it might have knocked obviously a couple of the alarms off. So always go and double check and watch that rod tip. Now if you're doing that, you'll bank so many more fish, even just on the single beeps. Don't always think it's a liner. I'm not a fan of believing liners. I don't like to blame them. Every time I get a single beep, I normally say I've been done, right? Now why do I say that? Because with having the underwater footage and the cameras and all this sort of stuff, and if you notice I'm not so much watching the camera because I'm looking around and around. With the single beeps, when you go and investigate, you might just see this on your rod tip. Now it could be a carp sucking and blowing, not moving off the spot, but then it could also be a bream. Now end of the day, if you've got a bream hooked and it just can't move the lead for whatever reason, like it's too big or whatever, you're not going to catch a carp with a bream on the end of the hook. Now you might have that, say that bream there all night, and then you winding in the morning, it's oh for God's sake. Yeah, the smaller fish will take the bigger baits as well. They'll peck away at it and sometimes they just get hooked. And the only time you're going to catch a fish from that is if you either get a cat or a pike. Obviously take the bait, a little baited fish what you've actually got on there, like a dead bait sort of thing. So always investigate, no matter what the weather. Get out your bed, get out your chair, get out your bivvy, go straight to your rods and watch that rod tip. That's my major edge, guys, and I do that every time, no matter what time of night it is, what time of day it is. It's something I always do. And the amount of fish what I put on the bank through doing that is absolutely crazy. While I was in France, I've said it a few videos ago, while I was in France, I was putting fish on the bank and the alarm never even went off. It's not that the rubbish alarms or anything like that, I was watching that rod tip because the rod tip will move before anything else. So it just goes to show, it doesn't matter what alarms you got. Yeah, it could be the best of the best or the worst of the worst, and it doesn't matter what bobbin, swinger, hanger you've got either. Always go off your tips every time. And the biggest thing in carp fishing is watercraft. Yeah, find them, feed them, catch them. I'm on a buck peg, so it's not a matter of case of finding them. It's literally you got to make do with what you've got, and then I've got to try and bring the fish into me. I will do things in a little while. I'm just literally giving them a chance as they are, give them a couple of hours. If they go, they go. If they don't go, they don't go. But the last thing I want to do is pile all the bait in. I've done it before on here, and I've blown the swim. Yeah, had a cracking first day, and then blown it with putting the bait in, and then obviously killed it. And that can go for any lake. Yeah, fair enough. We want to feed the smaller ones off, but I want to get onto the bigger ones. But at the end of the day, a bend in the rod is better than nothing at all, isn't it? So blowing your swim can really do your session. So there's many people. I did the intro on Sunday, and since Sunday, and a few people I know have been saying they've gone, and they've struggled. Yeah, they've really struggled. They've blanked. And the reason why they blanked is because people spamming and spamming and spamming. And it's exactly what I said it would be. I knew it would be like that. They're not interested in it. They haven't had the food for this amount of time. So little and often, that is the best thing at the minute. You can always put more in, but you can't take it back out. Once it's in, you're knackered. Yeah, if you've overbaited it, you've overbaited it, and you've got to wait until all that bait's gone before the fish are going to hopefully get onto anything else. Yeah, you can use a more attracted up bait and stuff like that. I don't want to use pop-ups in it because I know that they don't tend to like them. Just nudge them around like a football, so better off with like bottom baits and stuff in here. Keep it as natural as you can and just stick with it. So it might be worth me just putting a small little PVA bag on. Now when I say small, I mean literally small. Yeah, no bigger than a golf ball. I'm just literally wang that one out there as well. So get the roach on it to it. Once the roach are on it, the carp tend to follow. So get the small ones interested, the bigger ones are home in. But I'm having a rest. I'm enjoying it. Not much of this left. I've already done them, but just try and get the rest of the bottle. This is absolutely colossal stuff, this is. Oh yes. Just get what I can out. It is sticky as crazy. This is the DNA hydro syrup, and it is, oh, it's very sticky stuff. And this is what was working in France as well as my own as well. These are freezer based. I'm not going to be using all of these, but now they're glugged up, they're all going to be gravy, aren't they? Flying back lead. Gonna lace that on. A little buffer bead for it as well. Thread that on. And then now what I want to do is actually a little sinker. Doesn't matter what brand they are. A sinker's a sinker. These little tungsten things. Helps if the little lead's not swinging around where it is. So I'm going to feed that on. What I need to do now is just moisten the line. So I don't want it to kink it. So we'll slide that up there. Right, so I need scissors again, which are here. Just trim that off where it was obviously kinked, and then I'll get my rig tubing, which is the tungsten stuff. Thread this on. Quite easy thread this one, so it's not too bad. Generally use a pole threader, but this one just goes through lovely. It's going to be near the end now, so let's have a look, see if it is. No, a little bit more. Is it poking out yet? There we are. That's out. So we'll slide that up there as well. There we are, so that's all that. Then what we've got, so we don't need any of that. Here is me Corda Helisafe. Now what I've done the tubings, what come with them, just put an anti-tangle sleeve in, just the China ones, and they work a dream. As long as you use a big ring for the swivel, so it can go down to it, you're fine. Right, so we're going to get all the components on that. I might need to just literally reach and just grab a needle. So that's going to feed onto there as well. The spring. Oh, I haven't put the swivel on yet. I need to swivel them. And shrink tube. Sorry. So shrink tube first. Because I'm using tubing, I can't obviously use a no trace full system. So the tubing is actually working as that. Yeah, that bit of shrink tube. So the top bead can actually set. So that is that, and the spring on that again. If we can get it all, it's all fell down to the corner. The little tiny, this is tiny, this is what stops the tubing. Doesn't really need it, but I'm going to put it on anyway. And then my half-link swivel to finalise it all now. Tie my standard knot. Loosen that down, tighten that up, bring it all together now. So just swivel into that, tubing down. And what I want to do with the tubing, obviously I want to get this inside of here now. Just give it a little bit of a moisten. Trying to watch the water at the same time. And I'm going to push that all the way through until it pokes out at the end. Bit more saliva. There we are, so that's that sorted. So pull this down nice and taut. Clip on my heli. Just give it a little test. Make sure it's working. Yeah. A bit blurry for you, but you can probably just work that out. It's working not. So that's all good there. Right, so what the string tube is for, obviously that's going to slide. So I need to shrink that down. And as that goes down, I can then put my no tray speed onto it. And that'll just literally nick on, like so. And it'll still ping off as and when it needs to. Right, so what have I done with the sinker, what I put on? Right, the tubing every now and again can slide up. So the sinker, pull this down. Until it meets the top of the tubing. Okay, I got this hack off a Carpy Chris. Now that tubing is stuck. Yeah, that tubing will not go. The swivel will still go over the sinker. Also, my flying back lead only goes to it as well. And that is it. Clip the lead on, clip the rig on, steam it down. So we'll connect my rig on now. Pull that tungsten over there so it can't come over itself, like so. get the hook and the bait on it, and jobs are good. And as you can see, it stops there, but on a force, it will pull down. Yeah, as you can see, it goes down, and it's down at the bottom. It ejects the lead, jobs are good. And so it's working like a bottom bead, if you know what I mean. But it does work. And I've already got one on this, so I'm putting the second one on it because it is a tubing rule in here, so this is the reason why I'm doing it. All I've got to do is just literally connect all my hook and everything on now. So that is it. Done. And the lead, and then the bait. Happy days. Let's get it in the water because the man across from me has now gone. So I can now get the middle rod where I actually want it. So I can put the middle rod out now. Right, another little hack for you. So if you want to just bore out your tippers, yeah, so half a pop up, and then like I say, just bore it out so it's going to give it a nice shape as it sits on, sort of thing. So that is actually going to go inside. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like in a moment. Go and get yourself a countersink tool, and all I've used is just a spawn float. Just glued it inside, spin it round, nice and easy and even control on it. And it just bores it out, and it just looks absolutely beautiful and sets like so. There we are. So a little carpy out there for you instead of spending loads of money actually on the proper thing. Right, so we've got the baits actually blobbed on there now, so they're all ready. And as you can see, it's setting anyway. Good quality sharp hook, it sets. Yeah, we're all good on that. So now we've got the bait fastened on, we're going to get the lead of our choice. We're going to clip her on, and we're going out. And yes, it is pink. Why am I using pink? Because the water's a little bit murky. I want some attraction. So I've got attraction down now, and then I've obviously got my bait, what's still got a bit of a fleck of colour in there anyway, but I'm mainly going to go off the lead to actually get this visual down there. Just got to steam this up, just get that so it's nice and solid. It feels pretty tight as it is, but once it's lubricated, I know for well it's going to slip and slide in the water. So I'll get that steamed up, and that is it. That's the finished product. A little bit of a PVA bag on there as well. Job's a good one, it's going in. What I've got here, this is how you get it, right? I was looking at the tracker one, yeah, 25-30 quid, and all it is, it's a multi-tool, yeah. So if you Google tracker multi-tool, then you know exactly what it is. Right, there's sometimes where forceps you just can't obviously get the hooks out, and you just need that little bit more. It's got all the gizmos with it as well. And it is stainless steel, so if you get it wet, not a drama. How much was it? That's the main thing you want to know, isn't it? Right, I'll tell you where to get it from as well. Tool station, yeah, reserve them online, and then go and collect it. Don't worry, it needs to rust in, easier to get the hooks out, just literally onto the hook, and away she comes. Sometimes forceps, obviously, you're messing in and out and all that sort of thing, aren't you? So I thought I'd treat myself. And how much was it? Less than a tenner. For the exact same as tracker, the only difference is it's not black, and possibly a slightly different shape. It's got all your main tools on there, so like your little knife, your screwdrivers, saws, files, you name it, it's got it on it. And there's the brand, if you are interested. Hilka, if I said that right. Got quite a bit of weight to it, so you know, well, it's alright quality. Put it onto your belt if you really wish to, so it's always with you, or just literally leave it in here or outside of your cradle, mat, whatever you want to do. Like I say, it's not going to rust because it's stainless, so if it gets wet, don't need to worry about it. It's going to get wet. It's fishing. Anything fishing related is going to get wet, so that's why I want a stainless steel, not obviously some just box standard steel. Right, so a little tip for you if you got the new direction alarms.
Yeah, the ones where you can change the batteries and stuff like that. Okay, that's what this one's for. Right, I've got the old versions, the old K9s. Yeah, I'm wanting to upgrade them. Not that there's nothing wrong with them, because they're absolutely phenomenal alarms. Yeah, they are good alarms. The new ones, can't comment on them, never used them, don't know what they're like. Yeah. Now, in a way, they are a little bit like a Fiat car. Yeah, so you're either going to get a good set or you're going to get a bad set. Yeah, it's a 50-50 chance. Luckily, touch wood, I've been quite fortunate. Mine have been alright, the batteries and that's fine. Right, so little hack for you. After that middle rod went, obviously I went down and investigated it and that. Just obviously check things as you well do. And then the even though I put brand new batteries in them yesterday, it kept coming up with the battery warning symbol. Yeah, that's basically what it does on these. I don't know what the new ones are like, but more than likely the same. Right, if that ever happens to you, all you got to do is just literally take the batteries out, just stand outside of your rods, just literally no more than 5 minutes. Yeah, I'll probably down there about 2 minutes, 3 minutes sort of thing. Put the batteries back in, and then perfectly fine. Battery warning symbols gone off. Okay, so don't think that you got a duff set of batteries. Sometimes it's the alarm saying that it's a dead battery, but it's not. Yeah, I know they're not, because obviously they're brand new. So this where people saying that the batteries only last X amount of time, is it because they're getting that and they don't know how to reset them? Well, there you go, now you do. Batteries out, leave it for a couple of minutes, it kills all the device. Try turning it on and off and all that sort of stuff. Make sure there's no power in it whatsoever. Pop the batteries back in after X amount of time. Jobs are good. Yeah. So what alarms am I wanting next? Well, I'm wanting the Edwards, the customs. Why do I want them? Because they're damn sexy and I love roller alarms. Yeah, I don't like all this Delkin vibration, this vibration, that. I'd rather have a roller alarm. I feel like you got more adjustment with it, because obviously you got the magnets actually on the wheels. I just feel like you got more, where it is down to settings and that with the Delkins with the vibrations. It's how you set them up, but they seem like every time it rains, it goes off all the time. Now that's more than likely, I'd say, down to the user. I've never used them. I can't really tell you how to actually work the Delkin alarms. I never will use them. Yeah, I prefer the roller. I've always used them all the way through. Never had a drama with them. And like I say, you can set things better. So you've got your sensitivity and all this lot, but you've also got how you actually put the magnet to the sensor, so you can just literally just back it off just a little touch. And the way I set mine on a day like this, it is literally magnets here, sensors here, bink, and it's obviously beeping. That's the way I do it. It's just very, very fine tuning. So don't just stick them on there and then obviously wait for the best sort of thing. I'll obviously look at that. And if it is a windy day, I can either roll to the sensitivity down or take the magnet further away. Either way. But not 9 times out of 10, I don't touch the sensitivity. I'd just leave it on its max and I'll just alter it to that magnet. Oh, but there you go. There's your little tip for you on your batteries on those alarms. Now, it could be down to numerous alarms doing the same sort of thing. Just literally take them out, leave them out for a couple of minutes, put them back in. You might be alright. Saves you keep buying and buying and buying batteries what you don't actually need.
Right, so I've just put a bit of bait out with a thrower stick. Obviously these two have had a little gnaw on it as well. And they swum all the way over because I've stopped and they're begging for more. Go on away, you're not having it. Leave them be. I want to pick them up. Right, so I thought I'd explain me cradle, how I set up and that. So the sun's over there and well, it's not been used, has it? So anyway, right, so over here, there is a cutsy beam, yeah, what everyone calls them, right? And then also down there is also a cutsy beam as well. And why do they call them cutsy beams? Well, I was one of the first to find them from China instead of you buying the rhinos. Well, that's what they are. Really good quality lights.
food bags on them as a standard, just in case obviously it does open there. The sky's open, rains and whatnot. But this is roughly how I have them set. So I've got my backdrop behind me with the trees and that. You're not going to see much else behind that from the lights and stuff. So one high up, one low down. So it lights up the top of the fish, lights the bottom of the fish up. But the key thing is not to have too much light on them, because if you've got too much light, then obviously you can't. It's just going to be one big white spot. You and also the fish as well. Camera's going to go down into the middle, and it's just a matter of cases obviously just getting down there, obviously give it all the hand gestures and all that sort of thing, and obviously see what's what. So I've got to give you an idea. You're going to set your camera up, and all you're going to do, you just got to literally, just like you have got something here sort of thing. Lovely, yeah. And then obviously you can work it out, can't you? That is all. So the main thing you want to do is obviously get the whole entire fish in shot. You don't want to have its head off, you don't want to have its tail off. I always go in video mode, and if you want to still from that, you just literally go onto your either your phone or off the computer and just literally do a screenshot, or do it by step, and then there you go, get a shot that way. There we are, and we're in, look, on the palm of the hand sideways. Look, it's setting, it's in. Same with this way if you want to go this way, so I don't need to look which way that is. It spins and it's in. And then so that's a triple one. That is actually on the bait screw, a extra long bait screw. And then I've also done the same rig, but just with two on this one. I've not tested anything, so we'll see what's like. It slipped off that time, so I might just, what I've got to do, this is why I like to actually have a little play, so I'll alter my bead, have a little test then, and we're setting home, look, as you can see. I can't turn the spinner rig, it turns itself. It doesn't matter what I do, it's not like braid. As I turn that, it turns to swivel. So when that's on, look, sets home. It's just like I say, these little fine tunes, just so it sets right. I've not used long shanks in a while, but I thought I'd give it a go. I'm also going to give those glow in the dark things a whirl, but I'm not going to use them tonight. I'm going to just literally leave them in the car so they can have a full charge up for tomorrow, and obviously have a look. I'll go and get them and obviously have a look, see what they've actually achieved, obviously once it does get dark. Oh, bit of fizzing. Took my eye off the water then for a bit. I've had a pull on it, and I thought I'd bring it back in, check it, just in case it's obviously pulled that off, but it hasn't. It's still on there, so rebagged it back up and put it back out, but that was earlier on when I said earlier. Other than that, they've just literally stayed. Yeah, they've got no need to move. There's still fish activity literally right underneath my tips, but they're all small things here, so I'm not bothered about them. I could bring them in closer and aim for that, but I know it's small, so why am I going to target something what's small? There's no way I can actually get any food on. You can see the big ring. This one's just literally done it here. Yeah. They're waking up. They're waking up. Now, earlier on, I thought it was actually over there. It wasn't. It was more centre, and that is exactly where my right-hand rod is. Like I say, I put that little bit of bait in. 10 minutes later, to start doing that. You can tell it's getting cold. Anyway, yeah, another tactic what you can do as well. It's not something what I tend to do, but it's something what a lot of people do, and that's just cast to showing fish. Do I need to cast to showing fish? No, because where they're actually showing, I'm already there. Oh. Well, it's no blank. The one on the boilie on the right off rod. What a screaming, melting tyke. And a beautiful mirror. Look at that. Stunning. Absolute stunning. Not going to bother weighing it. Cracking colours. Felted a single nut arrest. Beautiful. Absolute stunning. Nicer scales on this side, especially where the anal fin is. Belting fish. My rig, so this is how I've been having it. So I've got my back lead up there. I've also got my flying back lead. Okay, back lead goes underneath the rod tips. Flying back lead obviously goes down to the tubing like so. Right, that's all that is. So that is the exact same rig as what I shown you tying up earlier. Okay, the same leader, should I say. And as you can see, I've not touched that. That's gone down to where it should be.